What's going on, YouTube? It's Unger to the Max here, and a salute to you. And specifically in this video, hey, Grizzy, you're here right away. But specifically in this video, I'm previewing the Cleveland Browns' upcoming game against the Atlanta Falcons. So shout out to David in Atlanta, but I think he has a different YouTube channel name now. It might be called, I think it's called something else now. Hang on. Let me see what he calls himself now. Oh, he calls himself Sports Live in the ATL. So hopefully I'll be doing a YouTube pregame video with him to preview Falcons Browns. But for now, I'm doing my own. But I'm not just going to be previewing the Browns game in this video, even though that's what the video says. There's another game the day before that I'm also going to be talking about. And it involves my favorite team in all college football. They've played Alabama in the past 3 college football playoffs. 2 times in that, they played in the national championship. Lost to Alabama in 2015 and beat Alabama in 2016. Deshaun Watson was their quarterback. Hunter Renfrow is one of their wide receivers. They beat Texas A&M early in the season in a very good matchup from College Station. Any guesses as to what team I'm talking about? Oh, and here's another clue. Boston, ESPN College Game Day will be at Boston College because they're coming to town to play the number 17 team in the country. So, and their colors are orange and purple. Deshaun Watson who plays for the Houston Texans, was their starting quarterback, led them to the 2016 national championship. And he guesses as they beat Notre Dame in Death Valley, which I say they're the real Death Valley, Memorial Stadium. One of their rivals is Florida State. Another one of their rivals is South Carolina, although they've owned South Carolina the past few years. So do you have any guesses as to what team I'm talking about? Their logo is a paw, and they're in the ACC. Any guesses? Come on. Somebody guess. Come on, Grizzy or unemployed Mario Yamasaki. Any guesses as to what team I'm talking about? Come on. Somebody has to have a guess out there. I don't know what other hints I can give you. Nope, not Notre Dame. They don't play Boston College. They're the number 2 team in the country. They beat Alabama. They lost to Alabama in the college football playoff last year. Kelly Bryant was their starting quarterback, and then he transferred. They beat Alabama in the 2016 national championship thanks to pass from Deshaun Watson to Hunter Renfrow. They lost to Alabama in the national championship the year before. An orange paw print is their logo. Their stadium is called Memorial Stadium. They touch Howard's Rock before they go into the stadium. Come on, any guesses as to what team I'm talking about? Grizzy or Mario Yamasaki? They're in the ACC. Come on. You gotta have another guess. What team am I talking about? They play Boston College. They play Boston College. I don't know what other clues to give you. Do you want me to just tell you? Would you prefer if I just told you at this point? I feel like that would be easier. Unless you have one more guess. Come on. So, any guesses? Nope, not Nebraska. Okay, now you're just trying to be funny. And it's somewhat working. Yes, Clemson. There you go. Yeah, it is Clemson. Go Tigers. Yeah, they are my favorite team in all of college football by far. I love the Clemson Tigers. For some reason, I didn't get any championship gear when Clemson beat Alabama, though. But yeah, so ESPN College Game Day is going to be at Boston College this weekend when the number 2 team in the country and one of the 2 remaining undefeated, the Clemson Tigers, travel to Boston College to take on the number 17 team in the country, the Boston College Eagles. I am very excited for this game. I don't know a lot about either team this season. But Clemson, what I do know is that Clemson has had a couple of close games starting early season in their matchup at Texas A&M. So that's when they still had Kelly Bryant. Trevor Lawrence has emerged as a great starting quarterback for the Tigers. And that defense is absolutely legit for Clemson. OMG. That defense, the Tigers defense is legit. I mean, they just came off a bashing of Louisville, which, if you remember, like 2 years ago, it came down to the final play between Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson. Now you got Clemson going like this, and you have Louisville going like that. I mean, Clemson blew them out 77-16. That's pathetic. But I am so excited for this game. It's going to be unbelievable. I mean, before being Louisville 77-16, they destroyed Florida State 59-10. And then they beat North Carolina State 41-7. What else do I need to say? Yeah, I'm very excited for this game. Clemson, it's gonna be one of the best games of the season, I think. Let's see. TT, the wide receiver for Clemson, he should be in the Heisman Trophy position for Clemson. Unfortunately, I don't think he is. But let's see. Yeah, you got Trayvon Mullen at cornerback, Trevion Thompson at wide receiver, Mark Fields at cornerback, Amari Rogers, wide receiver. Let's see. T. Higgins. Where's T? You got Austin Bryant at defensive end to give you nightmares. Oh, Travis Etienne. That's who it. Etienne at running back. He's playing well. I mean, you got Hunter Renfrow at wide receiver. You know, the guy who caught the pass to win it against Alabama. You got Trevor Lawrence playing well at quarterback. I mean, I just don't know how Boston College is going to match up with this team on Saturday night. But it's going to be a great atmosphere. I'm excited for this game. I don't know anything about Boston College, but I've heard they are, from what I've seen of them, they're a great team. And I expect this game to be one of the best games of the season. So, but now for the reason I'm making this video. The Cleveland Browns. So, first off, like I said, I'm trying to set up I'm trying to talk with a fellow YouTuber to do a preview video like with him, just like I did early in the season with the New York Jets with Gangrene David in week 3 on Thursday Night Football, and week 5 with Engraven Vids. Maybe this is coincidence, but the Browns, those are the 2 games that the Browns have won. So maybe by doing this live game preview, the Browns will actually win. Now, let me start with this. Do I agree with the decision to fire Hugh Jackson? I mean, yes and no. I say yes because in 3 years, he's had the worst record in the NFL, 3-36-1. Of course, the one being a week 1 tie against Pittsburgh this season. But, I mean, what I didn't like is that he, instead of putting the blame on the players, for a lot of times, he always took the blame for himself, which I respect that, but he did it too much. And it got to the point where, like, if the team got blown out, like, I don't know, I'll give an example, like 36-3, or no, if the team lost a close game, like they did against Oakland or something, you would hear Hugh Jackson say, "Oh, I take the blame, like we didn't put our players in the right position and all that." No, you can't do that. I mean, hold on, let me rephrase that. When I say you can't do that, I mean don't do that all the time. You do it too much. Like, allow the players to take responsibility for some of the losses sometimes. You can't do it all the time. Because if you do it too much, the players are going to think, oh, if we don't play well this game, our coach is just going to take the blame for us. So, I just don't like it. But the one I really don't agree with is the firing of Todd Haley. Because the Browns at least had something on offense with Todd Haley. Now, did his offense restrict Baker Mayfield a little bit? Yes. But the Browns were developing something. Now, by firing both Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley, you're pretty much telling Baker Mayfield and the rest of the offense, oh, all that offense you learned under Hugh Jackson? Yeah, just throw it out. Crumple it up like a piece of paper and just throw it out the window. Or throw it in the garbage can. You know what I mean. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, like I've said this multiple times. When you draft a wide receiver, no, not a wide receiver. Scratch that. When you draft a quarterback, do what the Tennessee Titans did with Marcus Mariota. Instead, what the Titans did was they looked at, now they don't have the same offense now because their head coach is gone, but the example still works. When the Titans drafted Marcus Mariota, they didn't just go, oh, we're going to put you into this offense, and we don't care if it doesn't fit your skill set or not. We're just going to put you in it and go. And yeah. No, the Titans looked at what Marcus Mariota can do well and what he can't do well and designed his offense to fit that and make it work. So I think that's what the Browns need to do. And Bruce Arians, who is now an NFL analyst for CBS, has come out and said publicly that if he were to come back into head coaching, the only head coaching position he would want is Cleveland. I'm not sure I want Bruce Arians. Now, hear me out on this. You got all these young coaches like Sean McVay, and you got this new generation of offenses that are working. Like you got Kansas City, although Andy Reid's not a young coach, but you got Kansas City's offense working. The Bears' offense is clicking with Matt Nagy. Perfect, and an even more perfect example. Look at what Sean McVay's doing with the Rams. He's a young coach, and he's created this juggernaut with the Rams. And I think that's the direction the Browns need to go. As much as I respect Bruce Arians as a head coach, I'd rather have somebody who's young and newer to the NFL. So, because we're in a new generation, we're in a new style of NFL. Again, look at what the Rams are doing. They've become an absolute juggernaut. But the Saints did beat them last week, thankfully. And I think the Seahawks can actually beat them this week in even though it's in LA. Sorry, unemployed Mario Yamasaki. That's my honest opinion. Which is that I think Seattle can beat the Rams. I'm not sure they will, but I think Seattle can do it. But looking at Atlanta side, Julio Jones just got his first touchdown out of the season last week against Washington. Again, I won't say that team name. I'll do it on occasion, but I don't like saying it. But Julio Jones got his first touchdown of the season last week in Washington against the Redskins. See, I did it there. But Atlanta has a very potent offense this season. So I feel bad for the Browns, who are dealing with a lot of injuries on defense. Like Christian Kirksey is out for the season. E.J. Gaines is out for the season. I think Denzel Ward's dealing with a hip injury, so I'm not sure if he's going to play. I mean, yes, we still have a pretty ferocious defensive front with Myles Garrett and Emmanuel Ogbah and Ogunjobi, but if that defensive pressure breaks down and Matt Ryan is able to get the ball away, which he will, who's going to stop these Atlanta wide receivers? You got Julio Jones on one side, who, like I said, just got his first touchdown of the season. You got Calvin Ridley on the other side. I don't know why it took so long for him to get drafted, but he couldn't have gone to a better team than where he is with Atlanta. I mean, it's a perfect fit. Just like Christian McCaffrey was with the Panthers last season. I know they're not the same position, but still, I think both players are a perfect fit. I think this is definitely a perfect fit with Calvin Ridley. I mean, it's kind of like Juju Smith-Schuster with the Steelers, because Antonio Brown's drawing all the defense to his side. Well, guess who's getting the benefit? Juju Smith-Schuster. It's the same thing with Atlanta. Teams know how big of a star and that Julio Jones is Julio Jones is. And they know that he's the wide receiver you need to worry about with the Falcons. So they focus more of their attention on Julio Jones. Well, guess who that opens the door for? Calvin Ridley. He's going to get single coverage. And he's shown with his speed, he will absolutely burn you on defense as a defense. He'll be like 3 steps behind you before you can go, where did he go? So I don't know how the Browns are going to keep up. I think the Browns have the offense to keep up with the Falcons, maybe. But I'm just not sure the Browns have enough on defense to slow down the Falcons. I mean, even though Devontae Freeman is out for the season with for the Falcons, you still got Tevin Coleman tearing it up for the Falcons, and then you got I think his first name's Eso Smith coming on strong for the Falcons now. He played very well against Washington last week. And Washington had held some top running backs under 100 yards. Ezekiel Elliott. Who else? Christian McCaffrey. Those are the two that I can think of. But Tevin Coleman and Eso Smith, they were able to get a combined almost 300 yards against Washington. So, I mean, I don't know. So, and this is not the last high-powered offense the Browns have to face. Let me look at the remaining schedule. I'm pretty sure they have their bye week next week. Let's see. They play Atlanta this week. And then, they have a bye week next week. Then they're at Cincinnati, at Houston, home to Carolina, at Denver, home for Cincinnati, at Baltimore. So there are some high-powered offenses remaining in that schedule. Houston, Carolina, and Cincinnati. The only high-powered offenses that I don't see in that schedule for the Browns, and Houston, are Denver and Baltimore. Those are the only teams who I say don't have a high-powered offense. But I mean, the Browns-Broncos game is in Denver, so I don't see the Browns winning that game, mainly due to the high altitude. And Baltimore's going to want revenge from that fluke 12-9 win for the Browns. I don't know what else to tell you. But I just don't know if the Browns... I think the Browns have enough on offense to keep up with the Falcons. But I'm not sure they have enough... I'm not sure they have enough on defense to slow down the Falcons' offense. I just don't know. If Denzel Ward is injured and not able to play, who's going to be on Julio Jones? Or who's going to be on Calvin Ridley? I don't know. But even if Denzel Ward were playing and fully healthy, I don't think it's a very good matchup for him. Generally this season, he's done better against wide receivers who aren't big and physical, but rather they're the speedsters. He struggled against Michael Thomas in week 2, held Antonio Brown in check fairly well week 1. Now, granted, I think Antonio Brown went off in week 8, but in general, Denzel Ward's done a pretty good job against the smaller, quicker wide receivers. He hasn't done very well against the big physical wide receivers. And that's what Atlanta's got in Julio Jones. So, but he might have been matched up with Calvin Ridley. I don't know for sure. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. There was a sink running, so I wanted to let it finish. But like I said, Denzel Ward he's played well this season, but I just don't see, even if he was playing, Who would he be matched up against with Atlanta? Against Atlanta, Calvin Ridley or Julio Jones? Let me ask you. Just writing you guys a question. There we go. So who do you think Denzel Ward would match up against on Atlanta's offense if he was healthy? Julio Jones or Calvin Ridley? It's an honest question. Like, I don't know. But I'm calling you out, Sports Live and ATL. I mean, even though the Browns are bad and Atlanta's probably going to win, I'm still want to do that game preview with you, man. So you just let me know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to get in contact with you. So yeah. But I think the Falcons are going to win this game. Like, the Browns love to score 20, but I think they might be a little bit higher scoring. Falcons are going to get 40 in this game, I think. Atlanta's going to win 41-24. Yeah, 41-24. So that's going to do it for this Browns preview and a little bit of a Clemson preview. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, punch that like button like a UFC player and punch that subscribe button. Until next time, specifically Saturday, because I'll be live streaming during that Clemson-Boston College game. So until next time, this is Unger to the Max signing off by saying, go Cavaliers, win your next game. Again, beat the Bulls, go Blue Jackets. Who do they play next? Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Go Blue Jackets, beat the Capitals. Oh, I would love to beat the Capitals. Go Browns, somehow beat the Falcons. Go Bears, beat the Lions. Go Chargers, beat the Raiders, which should be no problem. Go Jaguars, beat the Colts. And go Saints, beat the Bengals.